Aloha. Welcome to our House Committee on Water and Land hearing. Today is April 13th, 2023, 9 a.m. in conference room 430 at the State Capitol. My name is Mahina Poipoi. I'm the Vice Chair of the committee, and to my right is Chair Linda Ichiyama. Okay, we're going to move into our agenda. We're going to start with SCR 35. Requesting the Hawaii County Department of Water Supply to convene a working group to examine opportunities for increasing water access and strengthening water infrastructure for underserved communities on Hawaii Island. We don't have anyone signed up to testify, though we did receive comments from one organization. Okay, so no questions. So we will move on to SCR 52. SD1, requesting the convening of a Sunset Memorial Park working group to study potential solutions and make recommendations for a long-term management plan for Sunset Memorial Park. We do have Chelsea Fukunaga from DCCA in person.
Good morning, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. Chelsea Fukunaga on behalf of the department. The department will stand on its written testimony offering comments. Thank you.
Thank you. That's the only person signed up to testify. Is there anyone else in the audience or on Zoom wishing to testify?
Good morning, Chair and members. For the record, I am on vacation for an hour. My name is Maureen Andrade. I am actually testifying strong testimony on this to support the resolution. We've tried to do this for many years now, and I thank you members and especially Representative Takayama. It's been a long time, and I know this is just a reso, but I do ask that you all support the resolution, and hopefully we can move forward and continue this journey together and hopefully get something done. We still have people that go and clean, and I still go there every weekend. So we've been pretty lucky having, I think, the church there that comes and cleans every now and then, and of course the Lions Club with the help of Representative Kong and Representative Takayama. So thank you, and I hope that you folks support this.
Thank you. Okay, is there anyone else wishing to testify? Okay, seeing none, members, any questions? Oh, Representative Morikawa.
For DCCA, I think this is a problem that's going to start happening statewide, where the cemeteries are just left without any maintenance, the consideration on whether the county should do it, the state should do it. So has there been any consideration to do, like I see on your testimony, that you're probably recommending a state takeover?
So to clarify, we're not recommending a state takeover. I think what we're trying to do is we're trying to look for ideally a nonprofit to take over the cemetery.
I'm talking about Kauai. It used to be not necessarily nonprofits, but it used to be taken over by the communities where the cemeteries are.
Mm-hmm.
But those volunteers have slowly passed on, and I guess the younger generation is not willing to pick it up. So some government entity needs to step in and take it over. The maintenance, the handling of where people can be buried. That's, to me, this is a bigger problem than just this one. This one probably sets the precedence on what may happen in the future for all of these cemeteries statewide. So just something to keep in mind, because it may not just be this one. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions?
Thank you. For DCCA, to follow up on Representative Morikawa's question, I think we'd all like to see a nonprofit step in the case of Sunset Memorial Cemetery. But what nonprofit would step in when it faces such, monumental problems in terms of erosion and deterioration? So what we had been hoping for, and what I hope might be the product of this task force, is that some kind of mixture of volunteer assistance from a nonprofit like Ms. Andrade talked about, along with some, regular help from DAGs in terms of maintaining at least grass cutting, shrub clearing, that sort of thing from DAGs would be the optimum, I think, solution. So I hope, even though DCCA is opposed to the idea at this point of the state taking over, I hope you're not opposed to the idea of state assisting in maintaining cemeteries like this in the future. Thank you.
Do you want to respond or?
Oh, I mean, did you need a response? I mean,
Okay, just checking.
Well,
Okay.
I hope you're open to that.
I
Are
mean,
you open to that?
We're open to any type of suggestions and working with all interested parties. I don't think we're gonna just say anything is off the table. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you. Representative
Sorry.
Chiama?
For DCCA, I just want to clarify in your testimony, you're saying that the department would need a business consultant to assist the department in evaluating, defining, and documenting a business development strategy. And I'm just looking through the resolution here, and I'm not able to find where it's required that you
So-
come up with a business development strategy.
It's more to just preface the fact that our participation within this working group, beyond what has already been proposed by the department, if you're asking for anything more than a consultation purpose, we might not be able to provide more than what has been provided. So that's all that's clarifying. If more is needed, that's probably what would be needed to add a little bit more. If that-
Okay, so you're thinking the department feels like a business development strategy would be needed.
If you're looking to the department for more than what we've recommended, yes.
I see, but it's not the resolution itself that calls
Not the
for it.
resolution, but if the intent of this is to look or lean on the department for alternative or solutions to what's going on now, we won't be able to provide currently with our staffing level and our budgetary constraints other than what we've already proposed. So that's all that's clarifying.
I see. Okay, thank you. Thanks for the clarification.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions? Okay, thank you. We will move on to SCR 219 SD1, requesting that the Department of Land and Natural Resources adopt administrative rules regulating vessel speed near humpback whales. First, we have DLNR.
Aloha, Chair Ichiyama, Vice Chair Poi Poi, and members of the committee, Brian Nielsen, testifying on behalf of Department of Land and Natural Resources. We greatly appreciate the intent of this resolution and, of course, are committed to trying to figure out ways to reduce vessel strikes with whales, but we're just providing comments at this time since there's not a way to measure speed on the water. The typical radar guns don't work, so we're just a little stuck on how we would enforce this resolution. So thank you.
Thank you. That is the only person signed up to testify. Is there anyone else in the audience or on Zoom wishing to testify? Okay, seeing none, we will move on. Oh, members, any questions for the testifier? Okay, seeing none. Moving on to SCR 227 SD1, requesting the Department of Land and Natural Resources to implement an immediate fine for grounded vessels that have reasonably caused damage to the environment or created a material burden on the state for its removal. First, we have DLNR.
Good morning, Chair Ichiyama, Vice Chair Poi Poi, committee members. Ed Underwood testifying on behalf of the department. The department supports this measure and would recommend a change to the existing statute to implement it. I'm here for any questions you may have.
Thank you. That is the only person signed up to testify. Is there anyone in the audience or on Zoom wishing to testify? Okay, seeing none. Members, any questions? Okay, seeing none, we will move into decision making. Okay, for SCR 35, the recommendation is to pass with one amendment And the amendment is to, on page 2, line 27, after the words community members, add the words including Native Hawaiian cultural practitioners and members of the Native Hawaiian community. And this amendment is just to ensure that Native Hawaiian stakeholders are urged to be invited into this process. Members, any questions? Okay, seeing none, chair for the vote.
Members voting on SCR 35, recommendation is to pass with amendment. Chair, Vice Chair vote aye. Rep. Chun?
Aye.
Rep. Ganyanen, excuse. Rep. Hashem, excuse. Rep. Morikawa?
Aye.
Rep. Takayama?
Aye.
Rep. Souza?
Aye.
Vice Chair, the recommendation is adopted.
Thank you, Chair. Moving on to SCR 52 SD1. The recommendation is to pass with amendments, making technical, non-substantive amendments for clarity, consistency, and style, and adding a be it resolved to specify DCCA as being requested to prepare the report and to provide administrative support. I understand the concerns shared by DCCA, and I think it's, we'll just move it along for discussion, and this resolution will go to finance next. Okay, members, any questions or discussion? Okay, seeing none, chair for the vote.
Members voting on SCR 52, Senate Draft 1, recommendation is to pass with amendments, noting Rep. Ganyanen excused. Are there any reservations or no's? Okay, Vice Chair, recommendation is adopted.
Thank you, Chair. Moving on to SCR 219 SD1, the recommendation is going to be to pass with amendments. Again, I hear the concern of the departments and others. I think what this resolution attempts to do is to bring in language from two bills that didn't move much this session, HB 894 and SB 1142, and just turn that into suggestive language in a resolution. From my reading of the resolution, the language does seem to mostly reflect what is already existing and promoted by the department as best practices. And if you're a responsible mariner, you're already, trying your best to comply. At the end of the day, this is, again, a resolution. It's suggestive, and I think it's important for the department to continue having conversations to figure out what is workable. So getting to the amendments and to make the language more consistent with what is already promoted by the department, on page 2, lines 7 to 8, it'll say 15 knots when the vessel is within 100 fathoms in depth or less during humpback whale season. And then on page 2, lines 18 through 21, it'll be amended to read, to ensure that should another person on the vessel be available, they shall act as a lookout to prevent collisions with humpback whales when the vessel is within waters of 100 fathoms in depth or less during humpback whale season. Okay, members, any discussion? Okay, seeing none, chair for the vote.
Members voting on SCR 219, Senate Draft 1, recommendation is to pass with amendments, noting Rep. Ganyanen excused. Are there any reservations or no's? Seeing none, Vice Chair, recommendation adopted.
Thank you, Chair. And our last reso, SCR 227, SD1. The recommendation is to pass as is, but we're gonna add the department's comments and recommended amendments to the committee report. Yeah. So, any discussion? Okay, seeing none, chair for the vote.
Voting on SCR 227, Senate Draft 1, recommendation is to pass as is, noting Rep. Ganyanen excused. Any reservations or no's? Vice Chair, the recommendation is adopted.
Thank you, Chair. Okay, this meeting is adjourned.